Stuff to see. Where's the board? Let's just get the board up there first. We can edit it. Edit the board. Edit the board. I think it's this one. No, it's not. It's this one. Right. Okay. That's better. Does that fit? Let's see. Expand. All right. Okay, so we'll go back and forth from here to here. Shrink. Okay. And then if I wanted to, we can do a half. Oh, shit. Oh, this one's the one. Okay, we pause like that. We can. That's a new update, I think. Okie dokie. Oh. Good morning, grand rising, as they say, as my Hotep brothers say. What's up, Black? You still traveling the world? You still out there? One day I'll be like you, man. One day I'll go spread my wings. But yeah, man, chilling. I got a lot of heat out here. I got a lot of reconfirmation that I'm doing the right thing, that I'm on the right side of history, you know? Sometimes I'm like, am I going up against my brothers and sisters? Am I on the wrong side of history? But then I just get reminded that I'm all right. I'm in the States now, but traveling in the next few weeks. Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, you stay safe. You stay blessed, man. And hopefully you get an experience of a lifetime, you know? The furthest place I've gone to is in the States, Oklahoma, and then to Mexico. But that doesn't count. In Mexico, I've been to Mexico since I was a kid. I had the privilege every summer to travel out there. My mom would just send me out with the fam, and I have a big family out there, so that's where I got to fortify my Spanish first and foremost, and then my family ties and just the culture and the love for the people out there. It really helped me. I think I would have been lost without it. But I didn't grow up with my father, so now I'm reconnecting with that side of the family. They live in Virginia. I'm supposed to take a trip out there pretty soon, so that's my Eritrean side. That's going to be fun. That's going to be really fun. Viva la South Africa. Oh, these guys are funny. You'd be surprised, but almost every other country is cheaper. I know. I'm so used to everything being expensive. It's normal now. It normalized how crazy everything is in pricing, and me like not really understanding that. But yeah, I get reminded every time I go to Mexico, you know. But like places like Thailand and Bali, and where you were out in the Asian parts, that's Philippines would be really interesting to go to. And then we find other places like Dubai, right? Or fucking even Mexico City. Like there are certain areas, you know, like if you want to live the luxury life, or you want to, not the rural areas. I mean, it's gonna be the price is going to be at on par. Maybe just a little cheaper, but it's still the same shit. You know what I mean? But who needs to live that lifestyle is my thing, right? It's like that's just I don't know. It's materialism type of world. Like people need things. They need air conditioner. They need some certain things that they can't live without. And like that's the great thing about traveling. Like the people that are fortified and like are independent can like just do without, and you're not limited to go places because they don't have your amenities. You know what I mean? The only expensive thing is the plane ticket. Okay, gotcha. I know. Thank you, man. It's motivation. That's definitely motivation. It's always for me. It's always like I don't know no one out there, but it's like that's such a you know you find people, especially right now with online. You can find like you can find communities everywhere. You know, it's just that's the fear tactic that America puts on everybody that that these third world or uncivilized areas, but they're always traveling. YT people are all over the place. Expats are all over the place. 1,000 a month goes a long way in Thailand. Apartment, food, base. I know. I've been looking at the brothers and sisters that make it out there. I'd be following them on TikTok, and they'd be talking about, all the steps to get out there. You can go teach. I have a teaching certificate. Like I teach, so where I taught, I should say. I don't do it no more. I do something else, but I can still take that over there, teach English, Spanish. I know in the Philippines they speak Spanish, so. But yeah, there's other ways of going out there and getting work. I heard China's pretty cool too. A lot of opportunities over there. I do want to try something completely different. It'd be interesting. It'd be very interesting. I went to all the countries. Yeah, that's awesome, bro. Was that something that you like? It was your goal, or it kind of just like came about? The opportunities just arose as you were in motion. Pretty much everywhere is safer than the U.S. and Mexico. Yeah, right now, Mexico with all that going on, you would always be able to find a teaching job. I know. I gotta take advantage of that. I mean, I get restricted. You gotta put fucking hand in there or something. I know. And then you haven't been to Africa. Where would you go first? Both I went to Japan internationally. Yeah, you see, that's what I think. Yeah, kind of winging it. If the opportunity arises, you take it. I think that's the best way to go. Because like if you plan everything, your plans don't always seem to go the way you plan it. So. And it's not to say that you can't like prepare yourself or think ahead. It's just like always being open minded, I guess. Yeah, man. Yeah, yesterday was a crazy live. Ngozi, man, Ngozi, bro. They're coming after Ngozi. We talked about crazy shit. Probably West Africa first, yes. Maybe Ghana or Nigeria. Then I'll go to East Ethiopia, Eritrea. You already know. My father left me some property. I got to go take a trip out there, but I first have to go to the embassy, do some paperwork. My father he has to sign it over to me somehow because he's not going to go back. And so that's why I'm going to go to Virginia. I mean, not only for that. I'm going to reconnect with my father and my aunt and my grandma, and they're all in Virginia. But yeah, if I hold it down over there, you're always welcome to come. Who's Nico's? Oh, she's just someone here on TikTok too. She's African American. She has an accent though. Everybody thinks she's African. but she dates a Nigerian man, I believe. But I don't know. She's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. You'll see her around on here. Yeah, yeah. We got some beautiful women. That's what they say. I don't know if it's the fetish of the light skinned girls or if it's a preference, but yeah. Yeah, beautiful people all over Africa. Very big, diverse continent, you know. These motherfucking FBAs are like, why don't you go back? Why don't you go back? Well, bro, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna move how the fuck I want to move. And you ain't gonna, you ain't gonna tell me where I can stay and where, how long I can stay, where I can go. Is there shapes too? Is there shapes too? Thanks, bro. If you ever want to visit, wherever I am. Okay, thank you, brother. Yeah, yeah, I'll definitely tap in. A fetish. I just meant like some people like I don't know. It's a long story, but I'm not saying that you have a fetish. I'm just saying like that's when they talk about Ethiopian girls and Eritrean girls would be like Black American, or sorry, like FBA's. Well, not FBA's because they hate African women, but it'd be black men talking about them while I don't know. It's a long story. It's not even appropriate to talk about. But I'm not accusing you of having a fetish. It's a preference. Beautiful. There's just the face of Ethiopia, the face of Eritrea is always like a light skin girl, and I think it's propped up like that. There's beautiful dark skinned women there too. I just don't think they're like propped up like that. Like indigenous women. But yeah. I dated a Sudanese girl. Beautiful, beautiful Sudanese. Beautiful dark skinned chocolate sister. She was Muslim too. But she could pass. She could pass as a Eritrean. Yeah, they're loyal. I guess they stick to your side. If you're gonna marry one, right, Black? You know, that'd be a keeper. But you young man. You can't get caught up yet. You gotta go. That's why I need to go explore the world, man. I'm trying to marry too. You gotta be Muslim, my brother. Inshallah. I swear, when I was gonna be Muslim, that girl I'm telling you about, I almost married her and had kids, but I wimped out, man. I just got into college and I thought I was in my prime, and she moved to Sudan for a little bit. She wanted me to come with her. I just couldn't do it. But it was like the one that got away. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Inshallah, another one will come my way. E-man, what's going on? Don't stress. You still have more opportunities, but don't waste them. Exactly, exactly. You gotta take advantage of the opportunities that still will arise in the future. Do you still have videos showing yourself? Do you have videos showing yourself? No, I can't. I will get doxxed. These FBAs are on my ass. They're already spreading lies and reclipping my clips or my prompts. They don't like my prompts. They don't like me showing. This is the one that pissed them off. I'll show you the one that pissed them off a lot. This is the one that I had the black. I had black Americans who don't identify with FBA being mad at me because I had to make this what's the word I'm looking for? This analogy, right? And you can't really see it, but okay, so this is a historical time, right? 1963. I just have to give some education behind it because they think I'm mocking the injustice that happened during this time. This guy, this brother right here is a high school student protester in the civil rights era, during the civil rights protests. So I forget his name. I have it in my paperwork when I presented this, but I wanted to start off with that I'm not mocking African American historical moments like this. This is a well known picture in Birmingham, Alabama archives. And so, a lot of the people that came up and were offended right off the bat based off the imagery were offended strictly because of the imagery. And then obviously because of the labels on top. So I put FBA on the dog biting the African American brother, right? And then I have another dog right there just sitting there watching, and that's the Black American. The Black American that I know of today, the one that's on TikTok talking about he's not an immigrant, he's not a foreigner, and he claims he's not FBA, but sits back and watches, and it kind of spews the same rhetoric just in silence. And these two be hanging out in panels, just dogging Africans. But the African American is still the brother that the brother or sister that don't mind being called African American. You know what I mean? They still have they it could be they still have an affinity to Africa. That they still they don't they don't have a problem with it. So I'm seeing a lot of people that attack people within their own ethnicity because again, all these groups they claim they're all the same, right? This is why they were so offended. They're like, and so, but after I break it down, after I give some context to it, then you can see what I'm trying to portray. So a lot of people, a lot of Black Americans reposted this and said that I was racist, that I was xenophobic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But since then, I've had a lot of African Americans, Black Americans even come on and give their own interpretations of this picture, which have been very enlightening. And I thank and grateful for the people that came on and knew exactly what I was trying to speak on. You know what I mean? And it really exposed these people not wanting us. I consider myself a Black American, but because I'm Black as a race and I'm American as a nationality. These new Black Americans want to make it into a ethnicity, and that's okay, but you can't like reinvent the wheel. You can't reinterpret what that term was already inclusive to, which was a race and a nationality. You can't turn a race and a nationality into an ethnicity. It's kind of disingenuous. But this is why FBA was created, because Black American was already compromised, right? There's too many people in that, so they want to distinguish themselves. So this is why I'm saying all these different groups have a different ideology, a different mindset. And so this is what I'm making the comparison about, because you guys claim you're all the same, but as soon as you hear one of your brothers and sisters call themselves African American, you go, why you call yourself that? We're not African. And you start trying to convince that brother that he doesn't have African ancestry. You might convince him his timeline only started at chattel slavery, or his timeline is I was indigenous to this land. So yeah, the Black American also represents the pretendian. I always say Black American is the new closeted term for either an FBA or a pretendian, and you got to go pick their brain about who they are, to figure out their ideology and their mindset. But Black American was already inclusive to people that were naturalized or born here from the Black diaspora. So that's my biggest point with that. And so the FBA's they're doing way worse things against their own brothers and sisters than this goddamn German Shepherd is doing, okay? And then there's that white police officer holding back, restricting his movement, telling him he can't walk through here. He can't. Let me see your papers. Let me, prove that you're an American or whatever. This is what the ICE agents are doing now. You know what I mean? So yeah, I hope everybody got that analogy. So anyways, I was posted on different Black American spaces and FBA spaces that I'm always talking about Black people as dogs and stuff like that. I do have a lot of comparisons between the domesticated dog and a wolf, and I talk about how we've been domesticated, even indoctrinated by a lot of this American nationalistic, American exceptionalist, this patriotism that's really racism. Um, and so yeah, I remember a time when poor analogy. It's just the one that makes sense to me. But anyways, it doesn't matter what prompt I do. It really doesn't matter what prompt I do. You guys get mad regardless. So it's all good. I'll show you another one I do right here. Look, this is another one I do right here. And this one's a little. This was a straight up bootlicker right here. But there's another analogy I do. I do parallels between the Fugitive Slave Act and slave catchers and this current administration and ICE. They don't like this one either. But this AI, this ChatGPT thing, I just start describing what I want to see, and then they put it out there, and it's pretty neat. I never was an artist. Like I couldn't draw. My sister could draw, but I couldn't draw. So this was pretty neat for me. But I guess it hurts. It hurts because I think it's the truth, and you see a lot of. Yeah, I did this all on ChatGPT. On the prompt, you just got to describe what you want, and you got to fix it a bunch of times because sometimes it doesn't get it right. But yeah, I did this on there. But I was gonna say, you see all the prompts about Africans. You see all the dehumanizing prompts, man, about African people. Or you see a lot of these Black Americans talking about ICE and supporting ICE and deport everybody, mass deportations. And so they never want to make the parallels. They never want to compare the two struggles. But I have to. East Africans are getting attacked. Mexicans are getting attacked. I am both of those different demographics. And so I have to speak on it. So they can talk about it all they want. They can talk about the ethnic battles we have, and they can talk about our people. But as soon as we speak on their problematic behavior, we are seen as racist, and they go, look, you see, this is how they think about us. But I'm talking specifically to FBAs. I'm not talking to the African American brother and sister. Sometimes, let's put that one out. Where did it go? Yeah, I'm not talking to the brothers that call themselves African Americans and stand on that. I'm talking specifically to the FBAs. And then to the Black Americans, I'm just going to educate them about what that term really means. And if they want to make it a ethnicity and claim it's people that are non-immigrant foreigner, then I'm gonna push back on it. And so they get mad at that. They get really mad at that. And so yeah, I had a whole piece on this. I'm just winging it right now. We got Void. Void was on Tripp's panel. What's up,
What's up,
Void?
Vibes?
What's up, bro?
Not much.
Langley, off military Langley.
Langley?
Is it Langley? Who is that? Daryl talking about?
That dude, man. He, he's not a man, he's over here cosplaying a general. What a girl.
You
I
made
bet you,
really
like,
you made
huh?
really good you made really good points with the whole he's like you guys are un-American or anti-black American, and then because we don't support the military, and then you told them about all the family that's in the military, and like
Yeah.
that's the thing, we can still criticize this government, this military, and like it doesn't take our American away. It's just like this is what America's great for because we can always challenge
I
what.
called him a cosplayer. Wow. You know?
No,
Once
no, you know what I said? I said stolen valor since he
oh
never
yeah,
fought
that's
military.
even worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, why you got this general up in? It don't matter what the general did or not, but you have him as your like profile picture. Like, how old are you? You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
These people are stolen valor. They talk about the military running benefits now, and they hide behind white supremacy left and right. You know what I'm saying? Because who's gonna go after this general? Nobody, because he's part of America.
They discharged him. Your mic sounds a little muffled, Void. Can
Oh,
you?
can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, that's better.
No, I said, if he was not like an American general, who would help him? You know what I'm saying? Like if he did some bullshit like that and try to threaten Burkina Faso,
Oh, right, right. He only
let's
did it
say
because he had the protection of the military. I got you.
exactly, and that's what I said to these motherfuckers. They're so stupid. They claim about they
Let's
they,
try
they
not
cry
to
about
cuss,
white.
Void. Let's not try
Oh,
to
I'm
cuss because I
sorry.
don't want to. I don't
I'm
want to
sorry.
get stupid. It's cool. It's cool.
They cry about white supremacy and stuff like that, but then hide behind the same shield. You know, it's kind of like that dog, right? On your profile picture, right? And the African American is like your average normal, black person in America, right? And FBA is just like what do you call it? Django. What's it? Samuel Jackson's character.
Oh, like a house ninja?
Yeah, 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 yeah. They're just house Negroes. You know what I'm saying? Being bred and within the house and everything like that. So when the YT person said "sick 'em boy," they go and sick 'em. And one thing I was trying to tell them, man, because I do volunteer to help veterans and stuff like that. I'm like, what have you done? Because a lot of times they talk about military and stuff like that. I'm like, what have you done at all for the veterans? You know what I'm saying? I was trolling that one chick. There was this one chick in the comments, right? I was trolling her, and I was like, "Yo, hey, come to Texas and come volunteer for the veterans." And she's like, I'm not trying to hear any of your tether babble, da 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 da. I'm like, oh, so you don't do nothing for the veterans. I have family that served and everything. I still help with the veterans. What are y'all doing? This guy's over here cosplaying as a general, and he tries to act smart. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing that's
Yeah,
stupid.
that calm voice, right? Like he's got like,
Yeah,
but but it just irritates people because we know they're real crash outs, but they're gonna try to act all intelligent and intellectual, you know.
he's weird. He's
But
weird. He's a weird dude.
this, yeah, we dragged him on our panel too about his stats and stuff like that, so he already knows,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. He
But
talks he thinks he's talking smart by speaking like calm. I'm like, no, you actually sound really dumb. Like mentally disabled.
yeah, yeah. I
You know
mean,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah. Their
If,
mindset,
if,
in
yeah,
general.
yeah. If you were talking to me right now and I was at work, I'd probably call for your guardian. You know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Just because you're calm doesn't mean you're right, you know.
No, but and the examples he gave were nothing, man. I was telling him, I'm like, yo, I have family that served in these wars and everything like that. Dude can't say a damn thing. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it always gets them because like, oh, there's actually like immigrants that served in wars, WARs for America, right? And then when you tell them that stuff, they're like, oh, they start glitching out. And it's like, oh, alright. So I just play with them, man. It's honestly just play. These people are like serious, but I'm just playing around.
Yeah. I think yeah, the whole patriotism thing, it always throws me off because we know what the military has done all across the world. So for them to be like proud of that or like a badge of honor about all the destabilization, all the coups,
Yeah,
is baffling to me. And that's why I was trying to tell him like he's trying to say we're anti-black American, but I'm like, no, you're anti-black, you know? So
he's
if
trying to he's
so he's
trying
trying
to.
to so this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to make black American into this so they're FBA, right? But they keep doing this interchangeable thing where they say
They
FBA
don't
and
they don't know what
and
they
they
are.
slip black American in there, right? Because
Yeah,
soon enough they want us if we attack a FBA, they think we're attacking all the black people in America. So that's the plan.
they, they,
The plan is for them to convince us that we are speaking to the remember the achievements of African Americans, everything. They want to FBA wash everything. And so
But they include white
attack
people
a
as
FBA,
inventions.
sorry to cut you off. When we attack a
Yeah,
FBA, they're going to call racism. They're going to call all this stuff. But FBA is not a protected class like African
it's
Americans
not.
or black people
And
in
they
general,
think they have
right?
the they think they have the power to enforce it. I'm like, hell no! I
Right,
can call
right.
y'all
And
all
they think
sorts
they're
of
the
names.
leaders.
What the
This
hell?
fringe group thinks that they're the leaders of this. And this is what I always said, like every time we call out their problematic behavior, it feels like it's confirmation to them that they're doing the right thing because black people have always
That's
uh,
so
go-
dumb.
pe- black people have always gotten the brunt or always got criticized. So this only is confirmation to them that they're doing the right thing because this is what historically happens. But when they say like black Americans versus everybody or black Americans versus the world, it's like that's the attention you don't want because you thought it was bad by YT people. Like when everyone's against you, but again, we're pointing out the problematic behavior. We're pointing
Hey,
out the
Vibes, give me 5
xenophobia.
minutes.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, anyway. So, but yeah, they want everyone to think that when we attack them, we're attacking, we're being just as racist as white people, and so it's just tough. It's a tough, but you have to make the distinctions. You really do. Oh, what's up, Black? Why is my count so low? What's up, Black?
What's up, man?
No, I'm probably
Hey, Vibes, give me like 10 minutes,
I
please.
got you, bro.
That's why I hopped up. So just to kind of, so you got somebody to converse with.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it. Really.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off. Keep going.
No, I was pretty much done. I was just saying how every time they trap us into if I call out a FBA, they'll be like, "Oh, so that's how you feel about Black Americans?" I was like, "No, I was talking about FBAs." But there, when it comes to because FBA now can mean a lot of things, right? So I always remind Black Americans because a lot of FBA say, "Well, I'm not African." And I'm like, well, FBA says that they have African ancestry. They believe in the transatlantic slave trade. That's why they're going for the reparations, remember? And then some FBAs are like, well, no, I'm indigenous to America. I have no African ancestry. I'm like, well, don't call yourself FBA then.
Right.
Kind of like the same thing. I'm just calling out their own hypocrisy, their own standard, right? And so then same thing with the Black American thing, where it's like already inclusive to all these other, like to the Black diaspora, but they're trying to make it a ethnicity to exclude immigrants. So there's contradictions there. And then this is all to delineate, right? So they delineated from African American to not be Africans. They delineated from Black American not to be included with all the Black racial groups from the diaspora. And this is why they created Foundation of Black America. And then you have ADOS, which was a splinter off of ADOS. And then we have Sexy Sulani, and then et cetera, et cetera. And the other thing I hate is when they're like, well, I'm like, when is this delineation going to stop? Like, what is there a due date? And they're just like, no, we change and mold and shift however we have self-determination. We can do what we want. So it's always like this floating kind of, you don't know where they're going to go next, so
Don't ask me no
they can
questions,
code.
Tether.
Yeah,
Don't you Tether? Don't ask me about when we're delineating. Tether, you cosplayer.
we'll delineate as soon
Oh,
as you go back to your country.
yeah. Go back over there and eat your bush meat and all this shit.
Yeah.
You
So
you
yeah,
can't you can't ask any logical, legitimate questions without somebody trying to chew your head off. You know what I'm saying? Like you might, like he said, well, what is this delineating? Or what's the difference between FBA and this? Well, why is this division? Oh, we were never together. You calling us Akatas? You calling us Jareers? Don't ask me no. It's like no, you can't have no real dialogue, especially on TikTok and Twitter, because they're just not there for that. Those you almost would never have a real decent real conversation because it's always going to turn into something else, insults and all this. So I come to the conclusion that the FBA that's on TikTok and these panels and stuff like that, they are just looking for drama. That's it. They're just looking for, it's like a mob mentality. They just want to wake up. They want to have somebody to put down, punch down on, and curse out. And no matter how much sense you make, they're not trying to hear it.
Yeah, that's big facts, Black. That's big facts. And so, yeah, you're right about the problematic behavior and even the conversations that lead into this stuff. And I think the reason why I do it, not so more to like confront them. I think I do it for like the youth, the impressionable ones, the ones that are coming into these spaces, looking at the situation, being like, "Oh, is this what we're calling ourselves now? Foundational? Okay, I understand your grievances. Okay, that's us. That's us."
Right.
And then they walk into a space where they might be like cornering an immigrant or a Black immigrant or
Right.
African, and then they see the brother or sister like defending himself or saying some like equal stuff back, and then those people think that's the generalization of all Black immigrants or all Africans, just because of these confrontations that they see. So we got to be the first ones to like educate them about what these groups are, because a lot of people don't know what a FBA is. This is a fringe group on TikTok and on all these other platform spaces that have gotten their steam from social media. The thing about it is they are our brothers and sisters. They are Black. They're witty. They're charismatic. They all think they're comedians, by the way. They all think they're roasters, like Tariq Nasheed.
Right.
But it's literally Tariq Nasheed's script. Like he actually wrote this all out for them. They have the same narratives, the same talking points, the same vocabulary, the same cosplay. Some of them start
Everything is the
speaking in
same.
an African accent.
They just repeat everything. And I'm gonna tell you this. I tell you this about Tariq because I've been knowing about Tariq Nasheed for years, a long time, even before he was talking his FBA stuff. Because he used to have his own like radio, YouTube type of thing, called Mac Lessons. Just like one of those things where you just talk about raising up women and stuff like that. He was in the street life. Yeah, he was according to him, he was out there in the streets. So I used to listen here and there. And then some years later he kind of switched up his shtick. But I bring that up just to say that the man is gifted. He is super maybe I
gift
guess
of gab.
charismatic. Yes, he's very gifted, and I will always give credit where it's due. But I feel that some of that gift is used to kind of stir up a cult and stir up a lot of I feel like animosity, a lot of drama, just a lot of negativity. Although I do understand the big picture of what his message is like. Look, we are who we are. Y'all are who y'all are. Yes, we look similar, but we didn't come up the same way. Like you can take some melanated people from all around the world and you could put us together and we all look like you can trace us all back to Africa. But culturally, a lot of it is different. So I get that. But I don't see the need for the insults and the mob like mentality like we were just talking about, now to the point where now everything that he said, and you go to all these panels, they just repeating the same shit. Like you said, it's a script. And but the new people who didn't know about Tariq 10, 15 years ago, they haven't seen like this, this progression to what it is now. I don't know if they realize that they're in a I feel like it's a cult. I feel like they turn this thing into like a cult of hatred.
It definitely is, Black. Anytime someone wants to separate themselves and isolate their people, that's cult-like behavior. He's like almost promising them a promised land kind of thing, but it's like the promised land is no, it's right here that he says. Oh, he said some interesting stuff yesterday too. He said the foundational. So foundations, you got to stay where you're at. You can't be moving around. You can't because he was trying to take the foundation out of the brothers and sisters that fled to Mexico or fled to Canada or fled to Liberia, right? All the people that he would consider foundational Black American by definition, he kind of wanted to snatch their foundational card because they moved. And it's like he has this thing where they don't flee, they're the ones that don't flee, they stay.
They're moving the goalposts because that fleeing shit. If you want to say that they're fleers, like they say, oh, you fled from Africa, you fled from the Caribbean, oh, you fled out of the South and stuff like that, as if we are made to just stay only in one place for generations and generations and generations and not expand, while all these other, whether you want to call them ethnic groups or races, they go anywhere. They have no limits to where they would go. You
Hey,
know?
Black.
Yes, sir.
They called it manifest destiny. That's what they called
Yeah,
it.
yeah, man. It's just, but the thing is, why aren't we allowed to manifest greener pastures or more land or to expand without being called a fleer? This is my
Right,
issue.
right.
So if I or any of us, if we decide to go to Asia and we like, man, I like it here. I like it here. My life is a little bit better here. I want to stay here for a couple years. Is that means I fled? Does that mean we fled? We just
Or
because
just
we
like you're Black. Remember what you were saying about like places being cheaper and our money goes a lot further out somewhere. That's why they keep saying that these are shithole countries. Like even the president said that, right? And so
right.
this imagery or this like narrative that these people are undeveloped and all this stuff. I hate that first world, third world kind of talk because
Yeah.
it's like especially these FBAs that claim they're indigenous, these Black Americans that claim indigenous, like living off the land, learning how to be in tune with nature and all this like it it's contradictory
Vibes.
of what you're shitting these people on, you know what I mean?
But
Yeah.
vibes. But
It's,
vibes.
yeah.
What they're looking at it is through a billionaire's lens, right? Through the billionaire lens, it's a third world country and all that stuff, right? To everybody else, it's fine, but they just run with that.
Yes. You know what it is too? It's just that I would say the poverty American poverty doesn't touch the poverty in a lot of most other countries. So I think that they judge it by that. They go and see, like, you got some noise back there. Um like they go to, let's say, the favelas in Brazil or Colombia or Haiti, and they see the worst parts and they say, damn, even our worst parts in America are not this bad. And that's when they come back and you say that shithole shit, but they don't tell you about the real nice areas in these countries, because some of these
Yeah, and,
countries
and that's what you're
are
showing
more
us, Black.
beautiful.
That's what you're showing us, brother. Go ahead.
Thank you,
Sorry.
man. Yeah, thanks. But that to me, oh, another thing is because probably we've traveled a little bit, or your dad being from another place, you have a bit more of an open mind to other places and cultures. And that's why I have a problem calling these countries shitholes, because I've been there, I've seen the beauty. I've been treated well in these places, so I have no beef with most of these places.
Yeah, facts. And I think that's what they're afraid of. Like I was saying, the fear tactic of even claiming their third world and that they're, with like that's another thing. American military and all. We got to go over there to fix this. We got to go over there to stop that. We got to
Hmm.
go. We got to go. Like, and to destabilize them even more, to take their resources even more. That's the real dilemma. These people that are not empowered by their own resources on their land because people are trying to extract them. And so we
Right.
got the Spanish, we got the Europeans, we got all these European powers all over the world, military bases all over the world, and our passport, that's how we're able to travel all around the world too, and
Yep.
And so, but they are, when they say, oh, it's always like a double standard because they go, well, we can travel because we go, why are you in Africa? Why are you here? Why are you there? Oh, well, we can go over there. But they're still shitting on the places that they go to with that ideology. So it's like,
Right.
what's the concept? Like, if you're gonna, stand by your own words, you know what I mean? But they're just like, oh, well, you know, same with the foreign aid, like and those are the strings attached. Every time we take a deal or a contract or we work with these European powers, they keep us, they keep like a puppet democracy there, and they give us this useless money.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they're in debt. And so, yeah, these are all the things of why people are forced to flee. Okay, they're forced to leave. They're not migrating on the same way that you claim, not you, Black, but the same way the FBA's claim that they never migrated. It was a forced migration, right? They usually say Africans sold to their Africans, but we know the Europeans snatched us up. But I'll give it to you, that was a forced migration. So what do you think are all these other places that are destabilized and they have to come to America? Those are also forced migrations,
Right.
all right?
Yeah, they're not gonna get that part. They're not gonna understand that.
And then on top of that, what's happening to all the people we're deporting in America that are already in America, including the Mexicans, including all the people with their visas and they did it the right way and all this stuff, right? Those people are being forced. Those are also forced migrations.
Right.
But there isn't no borders, there is no ice and all that for wildlife. Like you were talking about before, the birds could go and come back home to roost.
Mm.
The butterflies migrate from here to Mexico, back and forth, and there's always some greener grass on the other side. You feel me? So we are migrating people, and there's nothing bad with that. It's not called fleeing, you know. But if they
Right.
want to compare, what's being a forced migration, then we can play the same game too. It's not even a game; it's actually what's happening.
You know what's
Right.
crazy? They made pretty much the country dangerous. You know, they're kicking out all these migrants that know all these skills in America, right? They think they're dumb, but they're actually smarter than they're
You're
smart as
muffled
hell.
again, boy.
Oh,
You're muffled.
how about now?
That's better.
Okay, so they're kicking out these workers who are smart as hell, who know the topography, they know the environment, they know what everything, right? And so they're kind of like with what's happening in the Middle East, right? They radicalize them, right? And so they go over to the border and everything like that. It's okay, you'll hear boom, 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 and their knowledge and the cartel knowledge makes America even weaker and more. How do you want to say it? It's more dangerous. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Like, yo, those people know the ins and out of everything,
Yep, because they've been
right?
here. They know the back roads. They know the seasons. They've been here for a while. You know, especially in those southern states where the Mexicans or the Central Americans have been coming back and forth for centuries.
Yeah,
Right. There has been natural migrations of people for thousands of years. That's what they're trying to cut off. When the border was open, it was open for a reason because it was always Mexico, right? Especially California, Texas, all that. And now we have another slew of people. We have the white Mexicans, or we have the Mexican American. We have the Chicano, the ones
Mm,
that look down on the paisano, on
mm.
the undocumented people, on the newly arrived. So we have a foundational Mexican American too that has the same sentiments as these
Ah,
foundational Black
shit.
Americans. You feel me? And you have that with every enclave of people that assimilate to the point of what's it called, of allegiance to this country. And what does that mean? It means forgetting your country, forgetting your roots, losing your language, losing your culture. Same thing that they did to the Native Americans. They stripped the kids from their parents, forced them to speak English in the boarding schools, and those kids forgot and became became soldiers in the military, or whatever America used them for.
Right.
So that's what's happening at the end of the day. I feel like so every enclave, every demographic has to fight their own people, based on
Right.
that, based off people that and then you have people that are on the fence, and then you have people that push back on it. So you got all
Right.
that shit.
Right.
It's
It,
crazy.
you know, I mean, a couple points that I want to make. It's first I want to take it back to something that you said earlier about uh like kind of like defining exactly what FBA is, right? And because technically, even though we know that FBA, the group itself, the people who identify themselves as FBA, is not a very large group. Is pretty much on mainly on social media, which is still a big thing. But if you want to say the word foundational Black American, that can encompass really about 40 million people. So as you said
By
earlier,
definition, right, Black? By
yes,
definition.
if you're
Yep.
using it by the absolute definition, like correct, that encompasses about 40 million people, maybe more. But so it's like you kind of on a slippery slope when you're calling out the one or a couple people, because now everybody thinks you're talking about all Black
Mm-hmm.
Americans, and that's
Right.
not the case. We just talking about this small little segment, but when you speaking it and it comes out of your mouth, and if somebody was to chop it up and just put up a sound bite, it would sound like
Right.
you were saying, "Yo, I hate these Black people. These people are
Mm-hmm.
this and that." It
Mm-hmm.
sounds like you're talking about all, and now you have a whole bunch of enemies that you didn't that wasn't your intention to have,
Right.
and people
Oh,
people get insecure, like, oh, you're talking about blacks, you
right.
by ethnics, you Africans think this about us and think that, and it
You
just
immigrants.
becomes, yeah,
Yeah,
and then it
I
just
agree.
becomes a whole messy thing, and you can't get anywhere because now they're offended, and so it just gets bad.
Yeah, it gets bad because, like I said, those rooms that they catch these, older people or people with the accent from the diaspora, it takes a little bit more time for them to formulate their ideas or
Right.
articulate themselves, and they get frustrated because so that whole thing too. So they start attacking, like they start saying these statistics about how they unalive themselves, or all the things that FBA say that they hear from immigrants. I think they do it out of ignorance too, and out of frustration, and the words don't come out right because
Right.
I'm also in rooms where they're trying to articulate themselves, and they could say something, and these FBAs just already automatically think that they know where they're going with the conversation.
Right.
Like this one lady was trying to talk about SNAP and EBT, and this Black American took it way out of context, and she was trying to relate it back to how the Black Panthers were the first ones to kind of formulate the like the free food program,
Yeah.
and if it wasn't for Black people, EBT and SNAP wouldn't even be around, because like
Right.
the government stole that concept from them.
Right.
But she couldn't articulate that though. She
Right.
kind of just like her words just came out wrong,
Right.
and they just started going in on her about, oh, you see, why do you think
Right.
Black people in EBT are like, why did you make that connection?
Right.
Why did you?
Look,
So it's like, bro, yeah, it's just so much miscommunication.
I
Yeah.
I think I was actually listening to if not that exact live that you're talking about, I was listening to one just like it, because these conversations kind of redundant. You go from channel to channel and you hear kind of like the same things coming up, but I get it. I guess because me traveling the world a lot and being around a lot of foreigners and immigrants, I have a bit more patience for trying to
Right.
understand what somebody is saying, because I know what it's like to go to another country and I don't speak the language that good, and I probably said all kind of shit the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I had it one way in my mind, but it came out wrong. And also, they So you might be that lady was probably trying, like you said, she was trying to give props and respect, but they hurry up and twist it, and they take that opportunity away from her and and then say, "Oh, you trying to insult us, saying we on see? I told y'all this is how all of y'all think," and it's just this. It could have been one, two, or three foreigners or African who said something, and now all of a sudden you represent all of the Africans. This one African said something, now they're gonna say all you Africans. This one
Right.
Jamaican said something, all you Caribbeans. And it's just an ignorant way to think. And
And when they
those
bring up the
people.
talking point, Black, when they bring up,
Mm,
uh,
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
No, I just want to finish. I'm gonna say this last
No,
part.
go
It's
ahead.
just
Go
that
ahead, Black. No, no,
those
no,
people,
go ahead.
like
Don't.
like the ones that you said attacked that lady for talking about the EBT, those particular kinds of FBA are intentionally looking for something to be offended about. You understand what I'm saying? You may not have been what they weren't. The lady wasn't trying to offend them at all, but they jumped in front of it and tried to make it seem like it was offensive. That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah, and that's what these panels are about. I literally have heard them say, "Oh, we're up here waiting for one of these Africans to come up so we can clip them. We can
Yep.
clip the thing about them talking bad about us." So they are going to try to intentionally preconceive like these arguments already. So they're just waiting
Yep.
to use this
It's a
as
plan.
evidence, right?
Yes.
And
It's
so
not a fair
it's
dialogue.
premeditated. Yeah. I wanted to say something to what you were saying too about the God damn it, I forgot. Um yeah, the language barrier, right?
Mm.
And then oh yeah, so again, the reason why they're pushing, oh, I hear an accent, you don't sound like a Black American. So what does that mean? Like they do this to their own people. They do
Right.
this to their own ethnicity groups if you don't have their mindset, if you don't think like them.
Right.
So
If
that's what they're trying to like change the narrative of how Black Americans should think.
yes.
So
Yes. If
they're like that's the new identity. So if you don't think like them, you can't be in this Black group
yeah,
that's the one that they're trying to push that everybody is the 50 million.
you're a tether. You're a tether. If you don't
Right,
agree,
right.
oh, I think he's a tether. Where's your mother from? Where's your father from?
Yeah,
Where's your
yeah.
great grandparents from? Where your great shut the fuck up. Why are you asking me? Sorry, my language. But
No, exactly. Yeah.
why are you keep moving the goalposts because I said something or somebody else said something that you did that didn't go along with your script.
Yeah.
And
Once they find out you're not from the lineage, oh well, you can't talk on this. You can't talk
right,
about our shit. That's or you don't know anything you're talking about because you're not from the lineage, whatever
right.
that brand lineage is.
And Jay-Z, there was a concert last night at in Philly. They call it the Roots Picnic. It was a group called the Roots. So they had all these celebrities, and Jay-Z, of course, was like the headliner. So he dropped a freestyle that's been kind of going around the internet the last few hours. And in that freestyle, he says he drops a line saying something about to the effects of you don't have any smoke for those white folks. No, he didn't even say white folks. He used the word cracker. He said you don't have any smoke for these crackers who own all your masters.
Oh,
But so he was saying it, and I'm probably not saying it exactly how it went, but you'll probably hear it later. But what he was saying is that, look, some of you folks, the Black folks, you so quick to come at another Black person who has no power over you, who hasn't taken anything from you, who hasn't done anything from you. But the people who actually have taken from you, you scared to say anything to them. So I feel that a lot of these this group on TikTok that call themselves FBA, I've been saying that for a while now, for some months. I never hear them complain about the European immigrants who come over here and take all of their
facts.
resources. I never hear them talk about the Europeans who are scamming, who are becoming prominent positions. I never hear them say that. And first of all, I know it's cowardice. You know, a lot of them are scared because those Europeans, those white folks, will put these people in their place real quick, and maybe with insults or talking down on them, and they wouldn't be able to take that. They can't have a civil discourse with them, but they have a problem, and I said this well in a chat. Really, I didn't say it on the panel yet, but they didn't have a problem. No, this is it. They had a problem with Jasmine Crockett or any dark skinned or melanated person who runs for public office. If you have any kind of foreign background, maybe one of your grandparents or your parents is from another country, could be the islands, could be Africa, could be Mexico, they all of a sudden, they don't want to hear nothing you say. You're a tether. They hate you, right? Because you're a foreigner. You weren't foundational. But they had no problem with Arnold Schwarzenegger becoming the governor of California. You know, they,
That's a good
they,
point. Yeah.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is not from the United States. You know, he's from Austria, but yet he was able to rise to the point where he could be the mayor of, not the mayor, the governor of one of the biggest states in the country. I don't hear them talking bad about that. Donald Trump's wife
Wife, the vice
is
presidents too. Right?
they're not American, but I don't hear them saying shit about that. That's and
Yeah.
and I'm not even gonna I already know trying to have that conversation. Oh, shut up, you tether, you cosplayer, you trying to down it. They not even gonna listen to what I said. They just gonna try to insult. See, this is why these people come up here. You guys gotta be careful. Let's mute him, drop him. You know what I'm saying? It just
Right. They can't let that truth be known, so they're
no.
gonna try to censor that as well. But you know why they do that, Black? They do that because they have YT lineage. They claim the FBA's claim they claim to be premium Black people. They claim they're the top of the top, right? But with all this admixture, because the FBA's claim they have European lineage, they have Aboriginal Native lineage, and lastly, they're African lineage. They're an ethnogenesis, remember? So that's why they always come to the defense. If anybody's aligning with them, it's them. I mean, aligning with YT, it's them because they are part and parcel. That's what 300 years of enslavement did. That's what indoctrination did with Jim Crow and Black codes, to the point of creating someone like a FBA or a Black American that have this kind of mindset. Like that is the result. So they have to even if they do even if they still don't mess with YT people and they claim that they are against them and they're fighting all people, they still are like, well, these people are running our country, so we're going to back them up. We're going to join the military. We'll do whatever we need to do, even though those are our landlords, our overseers. We're still going to support this because America is the greatest country.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so the patriotism, the allegiance is just so strong that they're kind of blind to it now. They're kind of numb to it now. You know what I mean? And this is the numbness I'm talking about. When they see these white people do all these injustices to different demographics, like the Mexicans or these Black immigrants, they don't feel for it. They have no empathy, and they go, well, it's about time you guys started feeling some of this that we went through, or that our ancestors went through.
Right.
It's about time. Like, we've had enough. Like, we always, like, they just don't see, and it's true, in the sense there's some truth in it all. There is a little truth in there. That's what makes it the irony aspect about it, because we're hearing those brothers and sisters cry out and their grievances about this government, but they also have grievances with the different demographics of those same people that have aligned with America, how they've treated them too. Like those Mexican Americans, like I was telling you, right? or
Right.
any demographic that aligned with America like the FBAs did. So those are the same ones that that attack him. You know, like
Right.
the FBAs that support Donald Trump and what Donald Trump has done in the black community. You know, getting rid of black leaders, black people in office,
Right.
all the programs he's cutting, the DEI, like, and
Right.
they still support this man. You know what I
Right.
mean?
No,
And
they
they say he can't do it no harm because he supports deporting
right.
people, and
If
we're all for that.
right. If he makes one comment about, oh yeah, this we're gonna get rid of these undocumented, not undocumented. If we're gonna get rid of this birthright citizenship
All
and
right.
keep these people out, this is only for the slaves and their children, right? And
Oh my God, Black.
soon as they hear that, they forget about
He's
all the other things that went against them, and they cling on to that. And I'm like, that's not a
he's
for me. That
speaking
ain't
to
a
us. He's speaking to
yeah.
us.
Come on, man. That's not enough for me to cling to his coattails like the way that these folks do. And I think they also do it just to spite somebody like a Kamala. Now, mind you, I'm not a Kamala Harris fan either. But the reasonings that I hear a lot of these people come up with for why they love this administration and Trump and all that is just ridiculous to me. But
I agree. So much hatred towards the other party when it's like a double-headed snake. It's like the whole system is corrupt, right? But
yeah,
Republicans and have been had a have had a long history of problematic behavior for the black community. So, but yeah, they're so caught up on the whole Kamala and Obama and all these
yeah,
people that didn't do enough for the black community. When we know they're all puppets, they're all
right,
doing, you know,
right.
so they're just falling for it, and they call you a Democratic shell
Yeah.
or whatever that is.
Yeah,
That's
shill
what
just
they're
means
talking
like
about.
you're a salesman. Shill basically
Yeah.
is just like you're selling it. You're a
Hmm.
salesman. But yeah, man, I think also the and it's not everyone, but at least some of the folks that I hear on TikTok, I think a lot of the beef that they have with like Kamala and Obama, they feel some kind of insecurity because these people have risen to like a high government positions and none of them have FBA blood in them. Like, like Obama, his dad is from East Africa, is from Kenya. His mom was Caucasian. So he doesn't have this background of slave, of indentured servitude or slavery. He doesn't have that same trauma and maybe the generational curses that the majority of FBA would have, right? He doesn't have that. And same thing with Kamala. Now, her roots go back to Jamaica where there was a lot of, I know I probably shouldn't say the word, but I'll say schmavery. Schmavery and oppression and colonization and all that went down there in the islands too. So she has a little bit of it, but
She's
she's
Indian
part.
too.
Yes, that's the thing. So I get that part because in my experience, I don't think most Indians in my experience, they don't like black people and I'm not gonna say all, of course, because I know some cool Indians and they treated me well, but I think that they are more prejudiced or racist towards us than you know, than let's say African immigrants or Caribbean immigrants, or even the ones that's coming from Mexico, just in my opinion. But
Yeah, they have the untouchables. Yeah, their
yeah,
caste system is crazy. But even then, Black, we still have other issues like a class system, right? Like there's always going to be someone looking down at you and think that you're inferior because you don't live in a big house or you don't
right,
have the status. And so that happens within all groups. And this is
right,
another thing that I hate seeing on these panels, like the so-called intellectual FBAs, and then the brothers and sisters that are still, disenfranchised and didn't get to climb the economic ladder. You know what I
right,
mean? And how these two groups come together to hate on Africans. You know what
Right.
I mean? And it's just so interesting. And I
And
always say, like, not all black people in America, even if they are from the lineage, the alleged lineage, get along.
right,
And everybody has a different accent, different
right,
twang. Everybody has either they're Democrat or Republican.
right,
Maybe they come from different church denominations. Maybe one loves the Patriots, the other loves the Niners. There's
right.
always some, thing that's going to, but like FBAs want us to think that they're all going to come together on this one issue, of this one
Nah.
issue of delineation, or on this one issue to hate black immigrants and not call themselves Africans. You know what I mean?
Right,
And they're trying to pump that. And they have a lot of steam because they are our brothers and sisters and they're creative about how they do it. That's why it hurts, Black.
right.
It hurts because they but it's ignorance, right? That they're pushing. But it's still like it hurts because it's them and it's not the
Right.
white team man.
It's
You know
coming
what I
from your
mean?
own. It's coming from somebody who should really be
Hmm.
with you, maybe some kind of embracing you. So it does hurt more when it's coming from home base,
Yeah.
we call it.
And we always have bootlickers. We always have people that turn their back on their people. Like this isn't new. This is coonish behavior.
Right.
But but that, like I said again, they're not doing anything new. They're
Hmm.
not reinventing the wheel. This stuff was told to them during the civil rights to go back to Africa. They've
Right.
always heard that they're African, and to go back and these are the same talking points white nationalists do. So this xenophobia, speak English only, this accent, all this stuff is not. This is all we've heard this before. If this was really an authentic and original grievance, it wouldn't sound like this. You know.
Right.
So that's why I'd
And
be saying, like, yeah,
and
go
and
ahead.
and I just wanted to say, just what you were saying in the '60s in the civil rights movements and all that, the nerve of white people to tell black people to go back to their country or go back to their continent. I mean, like, where do you think you come from? You don't come from here, you know. So you're in no
Back to
position
that
to tell
smoke.
somebody. Yeah, you're in no position to tell somebody to go back to Africa or go back here. Um, so yeah, man, people are just very out of order, man. And I think I could be wrong, but I think in some years, a lot of these people who are calling themselves FBA when they get older, they may end up regretting having this mentality that they have now of hating uh, people who are already oppressed, people who are having a difficult time in America. I think that when they mature, they will see like, hey, man, we're doing to other groups what done to us. We didn't like it when it was done to us. So why are we doing it to other people? You know? So
Yeah, that's big facts. That's big facts. Yeah, I always say like they should get it all. They should get a FBA tattoo so we could identify them when they have to backpedal out of all this. You feel me?
yeah, it's cool.
Where are
Yeah,
you now? Where are you now, Black?
I'm back in the States. I'm on the East Coast in
Nice.
the yeah, DC area. So
DC. Okay. Yeah, my
yeah.
family's in Virginia. They're in Alexandria.
Okay, yeah, that's right
That's
there. I
really
know.
close to DC.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Northern Virginia, you call it Nova. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that area.
Sure.
Yeah, that. You know what? It's funny. I mean, maybe not funny, and it's not prejudice or anything like this, but I know your background where you were telling me your ethnicity,
Yeah, they're out
and
there. They're
yeah, I
out
was
there.
gonna,
There's
yeah,
a Mecca over there.
I was gonna say your peeps are deep out there, and I would say also Colorado, and when I was in Vegas, I can't say Vegas too because Vegas I know particularly is like Ethiopian. So I don't know if the Ethiopians and Eritreans kind of see each other as brothers and sisters or is a distinct difference. But looking, I can't tell the difference. But I would say that there's a lot of that region of like particularly Ethiopians, maybe Eritreans too, in Las Vegas, like 40,000 deep. And
Yeah, I didn't know about Las Vegas, but I can already
yeah,
imagine.
yeah. I was
I was gonna say that. Yeah, that's a talking point too. That they'd be saying like, don't. Weren't you guys allowed to, delineate from the Ethiopians being Eritrean and all? And I was just like, I don't know if you could equate the two. Hi, how's it going?
right.
I'm going outside real quick. But yeah, there is a distinct. I'm in groups, Eritrean groups too, because like I said, I didn't grow up with my father, so
Mm,
I thought I was Ethiopian. On my birth certificate, it said Ethiopian because at the time, I guess it was Ethiopia,
mm,
and then later on it wasn't, right?
mm,
So my father was a refugee. He fought in some of those guerrilla warfare places as well. But
mm,
what was I gonna say? Oh, when I went to college, I was around a lot of Ethiopians. But my family and other, like when I started learning I'm Eritrean, they did have this like independence, like because a lot of it's I'm still learning a lot about it, but apparently Eritrea was a lot of the parts of Ethiopia, like a Mexum or a Muxum, yeah, like this empire that lived before, before the nation states were created. So so yeah, there's just a lot of different factors with different nations that have come in, and they say Ethiopia was never colonized, but it doesn't mean it never like received foreign aid from other countries,
right,
that had other plans, that had other agendas, and
right.
it was all. So, anyways, Eritreans were strong enough to create their own independence and fight back, and they call themselves like both of them call themselves like Habeshas, but I
Yeah.
feel like that word like kind of Eritreans don't like it because they get lumped in with them. So yeah,
Oh.
there is all that um, struggle, things going on there that I'm still
Mm,
interpreting and seeing as confrontational. You know what I mean? But it's
got you.
it they
Is the
have
language
they are the
is the
same, but
language
they
the
have
same?
different. But they speak a different word. Yeah, so Eritreans
Okay.
speak Tigrinya, and Ethiopians speak Amharic. So those are the two
Okay.
distinct languages. They have the similar food. They eat the same
Wait,
food,
say that
listen to
again.
the same
Say that
music.
again. You said they speak. Can you tell me those two languages again?
Amharic.
Amharic,
Yeah, I got you. Eritreans, speak Tigrinya.
Tigrinya.
Are you spelling it?
No, I'm
Tigrinya.
just trying to remember it. Terenya.
Yeah, if you write it down, I think it would help. Tigrinya,
Yeah,
and then Ethiopians speak Amharic. I don't speak any of them,
Amharic.
but
You better learn some, man.
one
You
day
going over there one day?
should
You better
learn.
learn at least a little bit.
I know, I do. I gotta get with the girl or go see my family
Yeah,
and be around.
they're gonna have a wife for you and everything already waiting for you, bro. They gonna know when you coming. They gonna know you coming.
That's
I might have to. I might
so.
have to. I might have to close out my app and come back because I think
Yeah,
there's a
they
delay.
have. They're like, "Man, grand."
I'm
No, no,
having a delay.
yeah, that's fine. I'd have to do the same because we're